Okay. Assalamu alaikum everyone, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on the region you are in. Thank you very much for taking out time and joining us in the event. We are going to discuss the success story and the overall journey of our mentee, Muhammad Adnan. He had passed his PgMP last month with above target score. And in the session, we are going to talk to him directly about his experiences, about the suggestions and recommendations that he would be providing to the PgMP aspirants and all. But before that, let me give a very quick introduction about myself and my company. So I'm representing Ontime Training and Consultancy Services, which is a venture of my own. I'm the founder, owner, and lead trainer in the company. On-time training is a professional training and consultancy provider with respect to project program and portfolio management and governance. So we are mainly the supporters and followers of PMI, Project Management Institute. So we provide the training and consultancy for all the major portfolios of PMI like PMP, PgMP, PFMP, ACP, RMP, PBA, SP, etc. And last year, we have also partnered with P3GQA, which is Project Program and Portfolio Governance Quality Authority. They are the promoters of P3G, the Project Program and Portfolio Management Governance. So on-time training had become the authorized trainer organization with P3GQA as well. So now our portfolio is about the P3M, which is Project Program and Portfolio Management, and P3G as well. Other than that, we are also the consultancy provider in the same capacity. We do provide the corporate consultancy, we do provide the PMO consultancy, we do provide the help and support regarding the improvement of project program and portfolio related practices. We also provide the help regarding the PMO setup if you need that. And we do provide the individual consultancy as well. We get the people ready for their P3 career. We also help them in their interview process and all. So if you need any such services, you can always contact us. I'm going to share the communication channels in a while over the chat area. About myself, I'm based in Pakistan and I have a career of 18 years. I did like many corporate-based roles in the technology sector of Pakistan. And now, for the past 2 years, I have been running this agency full time, where I am the lead consultant and the trainer for P3M and P3G. And I have many credentials in my own portfolio. Like I'm triple P certified, which means that I'm PFMP, PgMP, and PMP certified. I'm also RMP certified. I'm the certified trainer for PMP and CAPM certifications as well. I am PSM as well, and I am the P3GP certified trainer as well as the P3GP consultant as well. So these are some of the services that I personally provide. And let's move to the conversation. So Adnan, how are you doing today? Adnan, I can't hear you.
Am I audible?
Yes, now you are audible. So Adnan, people would like to know a brief introduction about yourself as well. So let's first do that.
Sure. Bismillah Rahman Rahim. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me on this discussion. And I would like to welcome everybody who has already joined us and all those people who will join us in the future through this recorded webinar. So as per me, I graduated in civil engineering from NED University in December 2013. That roughly makes up like 10 years of experience I have. Recently, in August 2023, I completed my master's in engineering management with a specialization in construction management from the same university, that is NED University, Karachi. And out of those 10 years of experience, almost I have 4 years of program management setting experience with the project related to wind power project, infrastructure, and heavy civil works in my most recent and current role in Saudi Arabia, specifically in the Neom and Shujina region. So with respect to this, I have also acquired 4 international certifications from PMI Project Management Institute. And Alhamdulillah, recently I have become a Chartered Construction Manager from Chartered Institute of Building. So this is my brief introduction for all those people who don't know me. But there is 1 or 2 people who actually know me in this webinar at the moment. So thank you so much for providing me that opportunity.
Yeah, and that's an equal honor for us as well, because I personally know that you are a very esteemed professional, and you have done and you are still are doing a very good work in your respective area. So, Adnan, people would like to know why PGMP. Because this is a very common confusion, and almost every other day I get this query that why PGMP, why not PMP, why not BFMP, why not maybe ACP? Why did you go for PGMP, and
See,
how PGMP is helping you in your current role after you are done with that? How you are seeing the benefit from a practical perspective?
sure, that's so many questions in one sentence. I would like to answer them one by one. First of all, see, for me, why PGMP? For me, it was a natural progression with respect to my professional experience and my qualification. See, from last 10 years, I've been engaged in 4 years in the program management setting. Plus, I acquired PMP in January 2022. I acquired RMP in December 2022. I acquired scheduling professional in the March 2023. So it was a natural progression for me from my experience perspective and also from my qualification perspective. So that was the only relevant option for me to grow into my competence. Secondly, in my most current role, I am working as a senior project control engineer, and the program we are handling, it has 3 interrelated projects. There is a deep connection in between these 3 packages, which we call it as a program. So for me, it was a very you say an ideal setting, an ideal offer that I can pursue PGMP, and it would definitely, not it would definitely, it has added immense value in my overall confidence, in my overall knowledge base, in my competence of program management related aspects. So that's why I have chosen PGMP. Regarding the difference between PGMP and PMP, see, PMP is project related domain. Program management is a program related domain. Projects are way like project management specialization or history has a long rooted in like PMI established in 1969 for the advancement of project management profession. So you can also count that from that point till this point, it has a long journey of project. Secondly, program management is relatively a new field. You can say 15 to 20 years it has evolved, and PGMP is of course the most esteemed credential in the program management. So definitely, who has a relevant experience, who has a relevant role, there is a natural tendency to go for this certification, I would must say.
Okay, and I would also like to talk about the confusion that people at times may have, that they like just mix up or confuse the project management and the program management to each other. Like at times they think that program management is like something very similar to project management, and at times vice versa as well. So accordingly, they ask this question that Tooba, when we and trust me, this is like a very usual observation when I write the program management applications, and when I just generally am having a conversation with my participants, especially those who are new to this journey. They have signed up, but they are new to this journey. They just keep on using the word like project when they mean to say program, and in their head it is like the project which is going on and not the program. So do you really think that project management and program management is similar, or do you think that the knowledge of PMP is going to be helpful in your program management learning and PGMP exam preparation?
Okay, so that's almost the same question. We can interchangeably you can ask from any individual. See, the PMP, it has a domain of project management, right? And program, as I said earlier, that this is relatively a newer field. So many of the organization, they are not matured in calling their projects as program. Just like PMP has established itself over like past 40 years. So PgMP would definitely take some time in order for companies, organization and institutions to understand the real worth and real dynamics of program. That's why, see, at the moment, almost 1.6 million people are PMPs worldwide. So they are very used to in terms of calling their projects or their work as project, and they have least understanding of PgMP or program management setting. That is the need. That is why there is a need to take this certification, to take the required competence and knowledge base for program management to understand what it is. From my personal experience and from my knowledge base of PgMP exam certification, yes, I would definitely say that PMP and PgMP, they are not same. They are not same. Yes, they can be interrelated because PMP is project related ambit. PgMP is a set of projects which has interrelated benefits and they can be done in a program setting. So the domain of a project manager is different. Domain of a program manager is different. The both responsibilities and roles and the daily operations they need to conduct, they are different. That's why there is a need for the PgMP. There is a need for the PgMP skill set and competence, and that's why PgMP must be pursued if anybody is naturally evolving into the role of a program manager.
Okay, and in the related capacity, because there are a couple of people in the audience who are actively preparing for their PgMP. So this is like a question, not a confusion, but a question that comes from the active aspirants. They ask that, do we need to study or do we need to read the PM book, whichever is the recent edition, for the preparation of PgMP exam? So I just want to ask you that, did you do that? Or is there a need, in your opinion?
See, I acquired PMP in January 2022, but for the sake of especially pursuing PgMP, I did not go back to the PM box. Why? Because PMP has almost like 10 knowledge areas that you mainly need to cover and you build your competency and knowledge base. PgMP, on the other hand, is a different ball game. You need to understand that PgMP has different criteria which PMI tested you against, including stakeholder, benefits, governance, and program life cycle. So all of these things are separately covered in the exam content outline of the PgMP. So one who is pursuing PgMP or he has like years of experience and has not gone for the PMP earlier, they can prepare PgMP only based on the standard of program management and by the content provided by the respected teacher, mentor, or trainer. So PgMP can be done without PMP, but it's always good to have such knowledge of PMP. For those people who have done PMP, they have understanding of stakeholder management, the risk management, all those aspects. So yes, they can be an interrelated concept or say overlapping concept, but one can clear, one can prepare for PgMP only based on the standards of program management and exam content outline.
Yes, I personally also feel the same. That of course there is no harm in reading the PM book. Of course, there is never ever any harm in reading any book, any knowledgeable book
Content.
or maybe material or blog or anything that you are finding helpful. However, for the sake of the exam, I personally feel that standard for that respective certification is more than enough. That's a personal opinion as well. Okay, yes, you were saying something, Adnan?
No.
Okay. Adnan, this 1 hour session actually is our endeavor to help the PgMP aspirants as well as those people who may or may not be interested and they are confused and they have like a lot of queries going on in their head and they want answers. And of course, we are always there to answer them, but coming like those answers from a person who has already done that recently, it's definitely going to create a different impact than any other mentor would do. So in the same capacity, those people who are actually convinced and they are interested in going for their PgMP, they like I would say that's a usual question always coming from them, that how much time they should be investing to get exam ready or to become eligible to sit in the exam. So what would you say? What was your strategy in that regard?
See, from my personal experience, first of all, I would share my personal experience. Overall, effectively, I took almost 50 to 60 days to prepare for the PgMP exam. I started in the middle of December, then I took a break in January, and then I resumed my preparation in February, and my exam was on 7th March. So effectively, if I note it down, 50 to 60 days is how much long I took for the preparation of PgMP. Now, to answer how much time it takes, the answer is very subjective. But given that one is willing, one is dedicated, and one can fetch enough time on daily basis or maybe on weekly basis, I would say in between 45 to 90 days, it's more than enough. Why it took me 50 to 60 days? Why? Because I currently live in Saudi Arabia, and there is a peculiar issue, an acute issue of the test center. Since PgMP is not online, it's a test center based exam, so one has to get an appointment. So my appointment was when I took it in the end of December, it was in the March. So if it would be provided in the February or maybe in the end of February, I would have gone for that too. But given that exam date, I almost took 50 to 60 days. But in general, as my personal understanding, it should not take ideally 45 to 90 days for anybody who is willing and dedicated to get this PgMP certification.
And per day, like on average, how many hours or how much time were you investing? 1 hour, 2 hours, so that people get an idea in hours as well.
See, for people who are working, of course, all those people who are pursuing, who is aspiring for PgMP, they all are working. So all those working people, they have the professional commitment, they have the family commitment, they have the personal commitment. So one cannot say that they can give daily or daily time, but on a weekly basis, one should at least go for 10 to 15 hours per week at least. So that would allow them to prepare very effectively, and they can appear in the result in the exam, sorry, way earlier than those dedicated days. So I would say this much time you can.
Yeah, and on average, like from our side, a recommendation of 100 to 120 hours, or maybe like maximum 140 hours in case you are reading the standard line by line as well. This much time is more than enough, at least to pass the exam and to learn the standard and the expectation of program management very effectively. And usually we give a plan of 10 to 15 hours per week. Maybe you can do that on weekend, maybe you can do throughout the week. And with that, very easily, you can do that within 2 to 3 months of commitment. So on average, we give a plan for 2 to 3 months with the expectation that at least we are going to invest 10 to 15 hours per week. And if you do like more than that, then of course you can attempt earlier than that.
Yes, exactly. I followed the same path. Per month, per week, it was 15 hours at least. So culminating that to almost 2 months, it's almost 100 and 120 hours. So this much time you need to effectively prepare for the PgMP. So yeah, you are right.
And yes, Adnan actually talked about the very important point. So depending on your region, the availability of test center is actually a very important constraint to care about. And especially if you are in Saudi Arabia region, or if you are in per se maybe Kuwait or Qatar or any region where the number of test centers are actually very limited per city, you should be very careful about that. And at times this kind of situation happened with us, that the delegate is actually exam ready and the center are not available in their respective regions. Same was the case with Adnan as well. He was actually ready for his exam maybe by January end or February start, but he was not able to find a center anywhere nearer than the earlier March. So you should be careful about that as well. And there's a way of checking the available centers and their availability as well. For instance, in Pakistan, in India, for the major cities, this is not an issue. But in some areas, this is an issue. So you should be careful about that.
I would share only 2 cents on this. One thing is, since I'm working in Tabuk, there is no such center in Tabuk. Anybody who is listening me from Tabuk or maybe in such region, there is no center for PMI or Pearson available in Tabuk. So I have to travel all the way to Jeddah.
Yes.
This was the one thing. And secondly, one advice for all those people for registering the PgMP dates: as soon as your panel review is passed, you should schedule your exam so that you can get the earliest available convenient date for your exam.
Yeah, people at times take their time to absorb and adjust that to that expectation that yes, we are going to sit in the exam. You know, exam nervousness and anxiety is always there, no matter how elite or how senior you are as a professional. So yeah, even even when I'm there to push them and to convince them that they should be going to register the exam, they don't do that because they are still absorbing that thing that they are going to sit in the exam. Anyways, moving forward, Adnan, when you attempted your exam, your PgMP exam, how was your overall experience? And with that, of course, it's like the journal, like your journal observation and your journal experience with that regard. No particular exam question or no particular thing we are asking. It's like just how did you do the time management? How did you do the pressure handling? What like certain attributes were there in your head when you were going to the exam room? And what advice would you like to give to the PgMP aspirant in that regard?
Thank you so much. My overall exam experience was very comfortable. Alhamdulillah, I would say Allah is always kind enough. So with respect to my preparation that I get from you, Alhamdulillah, I was very comfortable in my exam, during the exam, while attempting it. And secondly, it was overall good experience. When you had good preparation, I would say you naturally become confident, and your preparation supports your experience, and you can clear that. Since I cleared it, Alhamdulillah, so it would definitely made me now very comfortable that how I attempted. One thing I would like to say, it's almost, I guess, 270 minutes of exam. I completed it 90 minutes earlier than its original completion. So Alhamdulillah, I would say that my preparation, the content I got from you, and the work I put in, and with Allah's blessing, Alhamdulillah, I almost cleared it like 90 minutes way ahead of my original timeline. So it was good, Alhamdulillah.
And like, were you nervous during the exam, or were you confident that no, whatever I'm doing it's going as per my preparation and as per the material that I've covered?
See, until unless you sit in exam and start giving exam, there is a natural nervousness that everybody feels. But see, they say that you build your success on small steps. So Alhamdulillah, I had PMP, then RMP, then SP. So I had fairly good idea that how it will be going to, I will be going to face, and what kind of environment will there be, how will they be, approaching me for test and all those things. So I knew that. However, until unless you start and you take 10 to 15 minutes into the exam, you had that nervousness. But once you start kicking in, you start performing, and you know that your content is now you are recalling and you are able to answer those questions in front of your screen. So that makes you comfortable then.
Okay, so which like brings the next question, that the material and the guidance and the mentoring and the overall services that you acquired from us, on-time training and consultancy services. By the way, those who are in the audience pool, for them, Adnan has opted for my self-paced PgMP exam preparation course, which covers the complete application support and the complete material for the exam preparation and the end-to-end mentoring and support throughout the journey. So people maybe would like to know that what the material sufficient to know the program, to learn the program management from the PMI perspective as well as to pass the exam. So what would you say about that? And please shed some light on application support as well, because that's the toughest part in the overall journey.
Okay, so that's a multiple question at once, but I would like to answer it one by one. See, first of all, those who knows and maybe those who don't know that PgMP exam is two-stage exam. Number one stage is panel review. Number two is actual exam. So panel review is as important as your actual exam, because without passing your panel, you cannot sit in the actual exam. So from the panel review perspective, that was the first concerning point for me, to be honest. When I initially approached you, you explained me the process. Since I had not in my professional life, I have experienced any panel review for my any professional credential. So it was a natural nervousness for me that what they are going to judge me about and how they are going to evaluate. Though I have a program management experience, program level of experience, but I was finding it very challenging to consolidate and report my experience, program related experience, in the format provided by the PMI. So that was the first challenge for me. For this, I contacted you, and with your expertise, definitely I would say with your speciality, with your knowledge and expertise, experience, you helped me, you facilitated me in the application writing process that went into the panel review. And Alhamdulillah, I would say that within 10 to 15 days, our application was panel approved. And that was a day, I guess, I started to reschedule, not reschedule, but schedule my exam. So from that perspective, my first stage was to clear the panel review. So in that, your expertise and competence experience is very valuable. First, secondly, now talking about the actual exam. So I opted for the self-paced exam. You provided me all those content, videos, and all those slides. Plus, there are a few people, I guess, who are asking in the chat box that what kind of mock exams did I do? So you provided me also that mock exams. There are almost 10 sets. So now I would see they are more than enough. If you prepare them, they are more than enough for you from exam perspective. Since I didn't knew that these kind of questions will appear in the exam, but I knew that I need to prepare it very well. Since you know the path, you knew the exam, so you mentored me that you need to focus on these level of exams, these level of mocks more, so that you can get a more realistic idea of how you need to attempt the final. So I would say that overall this experience of you providing me guidance, coaching on top of the course content and the mocks and the videos is very helpful, because I knew that I had certain confusion all along. So I used to nudge you and ask you question, and you were kind enough to always respond me for those queries. So they actually opened up my mind, developed a foundation for PgMP content, and Alhamdulillah helped me clear the PgMP exam. I guess
And did you come across the hardcore ECO based questions in the exam? I mean, of course, just an observation that did you see the questions coming directly from the ECO, PgMP ECO in the exam?
I cannot recall any, but yes, from my personal recollection of that experience, I know that when I was attempting that exam, I knew that these are from exam content outline, ECOs. Yes, they comes from ECO guidelines too. And one needs to be very mindful and careful while studying the ECO, because those kind of questions does appear in the exam. I cannot recall particularly, but I know for sure that they were appearing in the exam.
Okay. And for those who are very actively preparing for the exam, a couple of things. First of all, please don't expect that the mocks that we provide, as it is same scenarios or same questions would appear in the real exam. No, this is not going to happen, and this should not be happening, because this is going to be very unethical as well, that we give you like a set of 500 questions and say that 170 out of these 500 is going to appear in the exam. This is going to be super unethical. right? This is going to violate the PMI code of ethics and professional conduct actually. But yes, we guarantee success in a way that if you follow our step-by-step guidance, and if you follow the mindset that we want to inject in our delegates, and if you practice those different level of questions that I provide, along with the slides and different other artifacts, and I provide some samples and program related samples and artifacts as well. If you follow like overall journey the way it is expected to be, then yes, your success is guaranteed. And whichever question is presented in front of you on the exam day, you are going to answer that with that mindset. And for that, you need to invest your time, right? If you are not ready to invest the time, then we are not ready to help you as well. And nobody can help you actually. It's not only us, but nobody in the whole planet can help you in that case. So quality delivery is our USP. This is how we sell our services and products. And if you are really interested to go for your PgMP with us, then go for that only if you are willing to prioritize this goal for you as well, right? Because this is not only about the exam. We never sell our services by saying that you are only going to pass the exam. We actually try to help you to come to that position that you are actually ready to implement those principles and those knowledge bases in your professional life as well. And that actually is the real deal in our opinion. Right? Okay, so moving forward, Adnan, I would this question is definitely a very, you know, I mean, it's a very subjective one, and everybody would have a different answer to this. So people at times have this conversation with me, and they actually debate about that as well. I mean, why would I invest this much? Because PgMP or many other PMI certifications as well, they come with a cost. Every quality add-on in your portfolio comes with a cost, monetary cost, right? So around $800, $900 you are going to invest in the exam itself, and maybe the equal amount or maybe a little less or a little more you are going to provide to the mentor or the trainer. So bare minimum 1600, 1700 or between 1600 to 2000 US dollar of investment it is. So people like they right away ask me that why this investment? Why would I go for this? Why can't I go for something cheaper? Or how this investment is going to come back to me? How it's going to pay back? So I know maybe your answer, my answer, anybody else's answer is going to be very, very different from like each other, and that's fine. But what would you say in that regard? What is the definition of return to you?
Okay, so that's a very comprehensive question and very subjective. See, the value of return on investment is very subjective. For one person, it is knowledge. For other person, it is monetary. But most of the people who pursue these professional qualification certification, they are doing it for the sake of their monetary value. See, first, there are few things that I would like to share. First and foremost, the most immediate result is the increase in your knowledge, competence, and your professional confidence. See, when you are having greater professional confidence, you can project it in the industry, and people know that you are committed for your professional development. Number one, that is first and foremost and most immediate outcome. Secondly, how can you retrieve it? How can you get your investment back to your pocket? There are two main and primary ways you can get. Number one is first you pursue it, and then you do an investment, and then later on you let your employer know that you are doing this kind of professional qualification, and this would be going to help me in my current job in this way, and hopefully they would help you to and support you in your professional development, and they would provide you financial assistance. That's a very quicker way to retrieve your investment. Number two, and if say like many people say my employer is not interested in my professional development, he says that's your business. So I would say that market is always open for new opportunities for the skill set that you have recently acquired. you're always required by the relevant people, by the people who understand, by companies and organizations who have such setup for your kind of expertise and experience. So you can always improve on your current job, current employment, current opportunities. And see, not every time you get a certification, you get a pay raise. Not every time you get a bonus. It's not like that. But your commitment, your dedication for your personal improvement, for your professional improvement, always results in a better financial perspective in terms of, you name it, from all perspective. But you have to trust the process. It's not like you have acquired the PgMP and the next day you say, okay, give me pay raise. That's not going to happen anywhere. But you always have this open mind that this is going to impact you in a more positive way, and your professional confidence will be boosted, and you will be recognized among your peer, among your seniors, among your friend and colleagues. So you will be definitely sought after once you have acquired those certification, and you have to trust the process. The market is changing toward PgMP, and the need for PgMP, program management certified professionals, they are going to and likely increase in coming years. This is what I have to say regarding this payback and investment issue.
Yeah, and I also would like to add on top of this that I personally believe that there is no alternative uh, to the advancement that you do in your knowledge base, or in your understanding of the concepts, or in your understanding of different, like seeing things from a different perspective. For instance, when I was done with my PgMP, again, in my case as well, there was no commitment from my employer regarding the salary raise or promotion, or I actually didn't have any expectation of a new job, or and like I was not expecting any change in my professional role, or in my like whatever I was earning that time. Still, I wanted to go for that because there are many aspects that you are doing in your current or past roles, and you are doing that, or you keep on doing that because this is the only way you have seen, or you have experienced for the fulfillment of the expectations, and that's working for the organization, that's working for your team, that's working for the customers, and you think that you are on the right track. Maybe from that organization, or from that program, or from that project perspective, yes, the answer is yes, but not from your market readiness perspective, not from your career prospect perspective. Maybe so do you have the answer to this question? What if I am going to join another role in any other organization? What if I'm going to maybe relocate to another country, and the job market or the professional aspects are very different in that area, and, or the expectation from the similar kind of role is different. For instance, when I was doing my program management certification, before that, I was actually in the program manager role at that time, but before that or during that role, I never gave importance on, I never thought about the delivery of benefits or the integration of benefits concept in that way ever. Of maybe I was doing that without even knowing that, right? But when I learned about that, when I got to understand that with that aspect, that different projects actually are delivering different capabilities, and the benefits you need to integrate, and the concept of integration is actually the primary role of the program manager in his JD. Then that opened doors to me that, oh, I never thought it this way. I was just like delivering the outputs, even under the program manager role, and I thought that I was doing great. So point is, it's not always about the financials. It's not always about the monetary rewards that you should be after, or one should be after. There's no harm in going for that. But that should not be the only thing you should be like you are after with respect to your career growth, because career growth is a very wider term, and it doesn't only cover the salary or the paycheck increase, right? It has a very, very broad meaning, like what you are learning, how you are, how authenticated you as a person or as a brand, uh, is becoming in the market or in your peer circle or in your organizational circle, that counts a lot. Trust me, that counts a lot. Your like your contribution to a meeting, to any conference, to any event would become valuable with these credentials, right? People start trusting you. People start speaking to you with respect to their concerns and queries and this and that it's which is an intangible benefit, by the way. But every intangible benefit directly or indirectly leads to the tangible benefit. This is my theory, and this always works. So start thinking this way if you have not already started that, right? And don't go only after the financial rewards, because financial rewards definitely are going to follow you if you start if you only start working on the betterment of you as a person and as a professional and as a leader and as a manager or whichever role you are performing. So that's my opinion in that about the return part. Return part is always subjective, like Adnan has already mentioned. Maybe some of you still would be convinced to say that no, we are only after the promotion. We are only willing to invest in that if organization is going to guarantee that they are going to give us the promotion or salary raise or this and that. And I mean, may or may not be, but for me, no. That this is a certain no. If I do anything, any advancement to my profile, just for the sake of a mere promotion, I call that a mere promotion because I'm not after the short term course. I'm always after the long term. Okay, thank
I
you
would
very
like,
much. Yes, yes,
I would like
please.
to share just final wordings on this regarding just people are really concerning about why should they invest so much money. I would like to say a few things. Number one is you attract success by becoming something, and these kind of certification are part of that process of becoming something, right? Number two, uh, these kind of credentials, certifications, knowledge bases, they are your negotiation tool when you are given the new opportunities. You can bargain better on the interview table that you have this much of credentials, and then you can bring so much value to the organization. And the last thing is you always prepare for the next role. You always prepare for the next upcoming success. So you always prepare and then wait for that thing, and definitely it is going to appear, and then you will be going to materialize it, capitalize on that based on when you acquired your competence. So it's always valuable to pursue such things.
Yeah, and I always say that try to get ready for the next 4 to 5 years plan of your career, right? And at times people come to me by saying that by only 1 to 2 months and I need to clear this because this has occurred in my professional life and now I am in a very hurry. I should have done that earlier, but I had not done that, and now my organization or my customer or this reason that we or maybe I have changed my region, I have relocated, and now my prospective employers are asking for that. So always look ahead and not for the next 1 year or 2 year only, maybe 5 to 10 years of plan, at least 5 years of plan for your next career move should be in front of you. And accordingly, you should be getting ready. Don't also I believe in the proactive management rather the reactive management, and being a manager and being the mentor and consultant, we of course should be practicing that and we should be promoting that idea. So at times people say that right now I'm not in the need. There's no right now. Right now, whatever you are doing, you are already doing that. You have already reached to that point. Think about the upcoming the upcoming ventures, the upcoming milestones that you want to achieve, right? And you get ready for that. Invest in that so that you stay in the right direction. Anyways, thank you very much, Adnan, for this conversation. I really thoroughly enjoyed that. I hope audience is enjoying the same. So now the question answer session. We keep the last 10 to 15 minutes for the question answer solely. So if anybody from the audience, they would like to unmute and they would like to ask any question from Adnan directly, you are more than welcome. And I think there is a couple of questions already there in
There
the
are questions in
yes,
the
yes,
chat box.
yes. Okay, let's first do that, and then we can take the questions which are not asked in the chat box. So, starting from the Fari's question, so he is willing to know which mock exams or question answer banks you practiced for your PgMP exam. I think we already had this conversation, but just very briefly, just to answer his question, if you want to again talk about that.
This, I guess we have already addressed that, Farid sir. Tuba, you provided me all that content, mock exams, all those things that I needed to prepare for my exam. So I only practice on those mock exams, and alhamdulillah, I was qualified.
By the way, Farid is already an onboarded PgMP delegate with me, and he is actively preparing for his PgMP these days. And I don't know when he is going to write the exam, but maybe he is willing to know from the exam perspective. So, Farid sir, as Adnan is already mentioning, the mocks that I have provided is more than enough for the exam. Right.
Thank you.
So another question from Farid Saab is, can you please list down the steps, very high level, from day one to exam day? Like step by step, what you have done, one after the another. Roadmap, yeah.
Sir, Farid, basically this is not my domain to answer. This is Tuba's domain to answer. She is the boss, she is a coach, she is a mentor. She can really guide you well. She can provide you the roadmap custom to your commitment, to your availability of time schedule. But in general, I would say my scheme of study was to go through the content, to go through the ECO, to go through the book, and to go through the slide, and then come back to questions or attempting mock. Then I see where are the lackings, where are the weaknesses, which area do I need to revise again. So then I again went back to the studies and slides and chapters, and I again attempted those mock questions. So it was a to and fro journey between the mocks and between the content. And in between this part, I had a lot of questions. When I attempted questions, there were few answers that I think my answer is right. Tuba said no, your answer is not right. This answer is right because of this reason. So in between, we had a very deep conversation, long conversation with Tuba. But yes, she can guide you with that, day one to exam day step. And I trust her instinct. She's a mashallah great teacher and mentor.
So Farisa, that's the same plan that you are following, and Adnan followed the same. With only one difference that Adnan used to ask like a lot of questions. I think Adnan is the only PgMP mentee so far who has asked me like a plethora of questions. I mean, every other day, night, morning, late night, every time I had received the questions, like, and I really respected his question in the way that he has that superior way of thinking, like, and going into the granularity of a topic, and that as a mentor gives me a confidence as well that he feels that I am able to answer his question. Because of course he's asking me with that expectation that he had that trust and feeling that I would be able to answer that level of the context and the expectation, and what if this is going to happen, what if the wording is changed to this, then what would be the answer, like this kind of conversation we had throughout his 3 to 4 months journey. And of course you had asked me a couple of questions as well, but I would suggest that ask me as many questions as you would like to, because that is only way to clarify your concept and to test your knowledge as well, that are you in the right direction, or as per the PMI expectation, are you going in the are you on the right track or not, right?
Got it. Thank
Okay.
you.
So okay, yeah, this is an important question that we have not covered. So Farid Saab again has asked that, can you please share the complexity level of mathematical questions? Did you come across mathematical questions like CPI, SPI, calculating the program performance?
I would say there was no such question. Even in the ECO of PgMP, there is no such mathematical domain. Even if there are, they are very superficial kind of numericals like ROI or scheduling, some kind of scheduling and costing related but there is no hardcore mathematical question. Why? Because PgMP's domain is executive level. So at executive level, you are not performing those mathematical calculations. You are usually gone through that stage. So PgMP is mostly covering the domains that an executive has to cover, like stakeholder engagement, like communication, like overall program lifecycle, like benefits, all those areas. So no such mathematical questions in detail is being asked in the
So PMI uses to update the question answer bank for the exam. So for instance, I did my PgMP in early 2022. And that time, there used to be the mathematical questions like for calculation of program CPI, SPI, and like not too many, 3 to 4 questions or so, maximum 5. But maybe right now they are not adding those questions. So that keeps on changing.
They are very basic level of questions. There is no complexity in that. One can easily do that if the concept is correct. So one can answer that confidently. There is no such difficulty in that mathematical question.
But I would again say that, Farisab, that the questions which are covered in the different levels of question answer banks provided to you, even if it is going to appear in the exam, that practice is going to be more than enough to you to do the mathematical part. Because usually, like in journal, in the PMI exams, the mathematical questions are easier. They may seem scary, but they are very easy actually.
As compared to PMP and SP, they are way easier.
Yes, they are easier.
Difficult.
Okay, so I think we have. Oh yeah, we have one more question, which is I don't know who is that person. But he or she is asking that did you use any other book or material than what we have provided you in the study material?
That was not required, I would say. It was covering everything that I needed, so I stick to that and I just consume that in a good way. So that was enough for me.
Okay, in that capacity, I would like to add that maybe some of you are confused between the 4th edition and the 5th edition, which has been released on 11th March this year. And I got like many such questions on the clarification and like is the exam going to altogether change based on the 5th edition and so. So for those especially who are going to sit in the next few weeks or months in the exam so far has not changed. Exam so far is still based on the same ECO and 4th edition. However, there is no harm in reading the 5th edition, but don't get yourself confused between 4th edition and 5th edition because a couple of concepts has been changed in 5th edition. So the concept of principle-based program management has been introduced, which of course is not going to harm you in your professional life, but at least for the sake of exam, keep your study restricted to 4th edition. That's going to be in your best interest. And read the 5th edition only in your personal interest, not for the sake of exam, right? Because that's going to confuse you more than it is going to help you in the exam. And other than that, if you want to read the book, then Standard of Program Management 4th edition by PMI is more than enough to read, to understand, and to pass. At times, we are not absorbing the concept because it's very theoretical in the standard. So for that, I provide my own session videos with the right real life examples and use cases and the connect of those concepts with practical implementation and examples as well. So maybe in that capacity, my videos can help, although that covers the same content. But PMI doesn't provide any use cases and case studies and examples in the standard. It's like just all different concepts, right? And that's it. So if you are interested in reading a book for the sake of exam, then Standard of Program Management 4th edition so far, until the exam is changed, which is expected to be changed later this year or maybe earlier next year. Again, no final word from my side. This is what I have heard from PMI people. But till that time, they are not going to formally announce. Nothing is finalized in that regard. It can be in Q3. it may be like may not be changed for the next 3 or 4 years, which has been the case in the past and can be the case this time as well. So please stick yourself to the current ECO, which is like maybe like only 2 to 3 wordings are changed in the ECO update in March, and everything is still as per the fourth edition. And my some of my students already has passed post 11th March. They have passed PgMP, and they say the same thing, that still your material is very relevant. Nothing, they have not found anything outside that. So based on that as well, I can tell you that the exam is still the same. It has not been changed. Anyways, I think Abhay has asked. Okay, so yeah, this is another conversation that people usually want to have, that is PgMP exam different than PMP exam with respect to the complexity level? So what would you say? You did your PMP after the 2021 change, right?
Yes, I did in
Okay,
January.
so you may be the right person to talk about that.
Yes. See, PMP, it's a different. Its domain, its ambit is project oriented. PgMP, it has a greater level of difficulty because there is a compulsory panel review attached to it. So yes, there is an additional complexity of PgMP exam. So one thing that you have to be very conscious about. Secondly, the content of PgMP is different and exclusive than the PMP. So one must have to have a different mindset, or as a mindset of program manager. So PgMP is a little bit difficult than PMP. I would not say that they are difficulty level same. It's a change in mindset. It's a change in skill set. It's a change in competence. So one has to prepare himself for the PgMP. So I would say yes, it is difficult than PMP. So because of all these reasons that I just mentioned.
Yeah, and I would say that difficulty of anything is also like its measurement is not a binary thing, like it's difficult or it's not difficult. It has like a lot of context associated with that. If you are well prepared, if you have invested good enough time for the readiness, and if you have gone for the right guidance, right material, and if you have the right experience in that subject matter, and if you have worked on the initiatives and the projects and program in the related capacity, then maybe you will not find that difficult. But if you are lacking in all or any of these aspects, then maybe you will find that difficult. So I know a couple of people from my own professional circle who actually opted for this credential with me. They didn't really do enough practice and enough, they didn't really spend enough time in the preparation. They, but just based on their like very extensive experience in the industry in different regions and different projects and programs, based on that, they attempted the exam and they passed that with above target. But this is not really recommended because this is not a blessing for every other professional, right? So we would like to recommend that play safe side. Do at least as much practice as is needed to pass you. Maybe not with flying colors, but at least to pass you, to take you to the target level in the exam. Anyways, we have a couple of more questions. So Hassan is asking that he has gone for some mocks, certain number of mocks for his PMP, and maybe it was like a kind of shortcut for him, and maybe he just did those mocks and it worked for him in case of PMP. So can I employ the same strategy for PgMP, like jumping directly to the mocks and starting practicing that? So in that capacity, I can recall that maybe you asked for the mocks when you got registered with me, and I told you that no, I'm not going to provide you the mocks because this is like a very common thing that people do. Then when they get the mocks in the start, they just skip everything, like the videos and slides and learning and all, and they just want to jump to the mocks and they want to do that. So with my mentees, it doesn't happen because I don't give them the access to the mocks unless they are not done with the videos and slides. But let's take the perspective of Adnan on that.
Well, I will answer it very briefly. I have personally witnessed this, that the Hassan is saying one can have developed the mindset of a project manager, and by developing that, if you attempt the mocks of PMP, you may be able to answer that, because since you have developed the enough competence, qualification, and experience, and then you have relevant master's or undergraduate degree, so you can answer that. But the main thing is, if you have solidify your mindset as a project manager, that would be helpful while attempting PMP mock. Secondly, when it comes to PgMP, so developing a mindset of a program manager is not as automatic as of PMP. See, program manager is a very executive level of job. Unless you have 15, 20 years of experience and you have gradually, matured to that position in your organization. Just like you mentioned, there were a few professional individuals who attempted with respect to their personal experience, and without their study, they attempted and they cleared. So for that kind of experience, yes, it can be said that you can attempt mock and then be able to be very comfortable in attempting PgMP. But for us, I guess the logical approach should be to prepare for the knowledge base and then start with the mocks and do it in a to and so fashion.
Okay,
That's my-
and just in the interest of time, I actually didn't realize that 1 hour is already done. So, so the last question from Elias, I think he's a planner, and he wants to know that from your perspective, because you are also a senior planner, Adnan, that which certificate should one prefer, PMP or SP?
I would no doubt say PMP. Why? One of the thing is PMP covered the schedule management also. So that specifically what you are doing would also be covered in the PMP knowledge areas. Because the cost part and the schedule part and all those things. But if you are very keen that you need to develop specialization in scheduling, then PMI SP is a specialization certificate, just like a risk management professional. Scheduling professional is also a specialization certificate that you may do after PMP. But since you have to invest money, I would say invest money in PMP because it has a more broader advantage on top of PMI SP. But if you still say, I have done PMP, now I want to do SP, more than welcome. If you have enough money, you can go for SP. But PMP and then SP.
Exactly. You leave the PMI thing. This is a general rule of thumb that first we go for generalization and then we go for specialization, right? So PMP is a generalized domain. It's a centralized domain. It talks about every aspect, starting from the scope, then schedule, then budget, stakeholder, communication, risk, procurement. Like it touch bases everything. And later on, after doing the project management from a generalized perspective, people get to know that, okay, from this too many concepts, I am particularly more interested in risk. I'm more interested in learning risk from an advanced perspective or to the next level. Then I would go for RMP, or I'm more interested in scheduling and I would like to learn the concept with respect to a planner, with respect to a scheduler, then they go for SP, or same is the case with cost certifications or business analysis and disciplined agile or safe or whatsoever. Right? So yeah, PMP is going to give you a huge edge in understanding the PMI mindset or setting up your expectation that how PMI thinks with respect to project and program and portfolio. So I believe that's a good conversation. If anybody has got any other questions for Adnan or for myself, just feel free to unmute and ask your question. And if no, then we are already 5 minutes over time. So thank you very much, Adnan. And I believe this is a very thorough and very detailed conversation regarding the PgMP and program management in general. Thank you very much for taking out time and sharing your insights about that. I hope you enjoyed the conversation too. And thank you very much all the participants who had taken out the time to attend the session. Thank you very much for your time and for your interest and for your engagement as well. Of course, I am going to be back very soon with another participant, maybe a PMP participant or PgMP participant or a PFMP participant. And stay tuned with me till then. Thank you very much, everyone. Stay blessed and stay safe.
Thank you. Hafiz.
Thank you so much, Tooba. Thank you so much, all the participants. Thank you so much for providing me this opportunity to share my lesson learned and things like that. I am blessed. Thank you so much. And
Thank
I
you,
wish
Adnan.
all the best who are preparing for PgMP and who may be aspiring for PgMP. Inshallah, you may succeed in your journey. Inshallah, you will be.
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Allah Hafiz, everyone.
Hafiz.